She probably gonna sacrifice me.
Look this way, bitch. I told you don't go live.
If I end up dying, just know y'all need to go for her.
GloRilla is caught in a storm of accusations that got the whole hip-hop scene completely stunned. Her own sister just dropped a bomb, claiming GloRilla's out here trying to get her taken out over some wild family drama that spun way out of control. The truth about what's really happening inside the Woods family is darker than anyone imagined. Straight up chilling. We're breaking down every shocking detail that's got the streets whispering and the internet losing it. Social media has been blowing up after GloRilla's sister Victoria, who goes by Scarface, went viral for exposing how GloRilla's been treating their family. Now listen, things are getting real messy. We're talking about separating the lies from the real tea because this story just turned deadly. And everyone's questioning everything they thought they knew about Memphis's so-called golden girl. Victoria had enough of watching their mom still clock in at FedEx while GloRilla's out here buying Jaguars for some family members and leaving others struggling in roach-filled apartments, eating ketchup sandwiches just to survive. But this story ain't just about money. It's about loyalty, survival, and how fame can twist bloodlines into battle lines. Don't get it twisted. This ain't your regular sibling jealousy. This is about a family of 12 kids who grew up locked away, homeschooled, and broke, eating canned food on the floor, washing up with bottled water when the lights got cut off, and fighting off rats like it was an everyday thing. That kind of life builds scars that never fade. They were living a level of struggle most people can't even picture. Ketchup sandwiches for dinner, and one bowl of cereal passed around like it was gold. And when one of them finally made it big and got that CMG bag, she was supposed to pull everyone up like she promised in them interviews. But instead, word is, she started turning cold, cutting ties, and putting pressure on anybody who dared to speak out about what really went down. Now it's getting real spicy because Victoria's spilling it all, painting a picture of a family that wasn't just broke. They were trapped. She said their mama homeschooled all 12 of them and barely let them step outside that fence. This ain't just drama anymore, it's turning into a real-life thriller that's shaking up the whole game. Victoria dropped a heartbreaking truth that's got everyone talking. "We couldn't come out the fence, bro," she said. And that line alone hit deep. Imagine it, 10 kids trapped inside a house, homeschooled, no real contact with the outside world. Victoria admitted she used to sneak her best friend into the house just to feel normal. That's how locked down they were. She explained that when they finally became adults, they were totally clueless about street life, saying, "We were stupid to the street life. We were stupid to common sense because we were segregated." That's wild. Their mama used to tell them, "It's 10 of y'all. Y'all better be your own best friends." That kind of isolation don't just build walls. It builds trauma. When you grow up depending only on each other, then one of you blows up and gets famous. That power shift can turn toxic real quick. Victoria even confessed something that shook everyone. She once called DCS on their own mother. Why? Because she was tired of getting beat just for being hungry. "I was hungry and you not gonna whoop me for being hungry," she said. That's heartbreaking. Kids having to call child services just to survive inside their own home. But it gets even messier. The parents allegedly played favorites, turning siblings against each other. Victoria said their father was a trick dude she couldn't stand, but GloRilla had a totally different bond with him. Viewers even remember seeing him on Tamron Hall, proudly saying how much he loved his baby, Gloria, while Victoria's out here saying the family's broken because of the way their parents treated some kids better than others. That favoritism hit deep and left scars that fame only made worse. Now here's where GloRilla's story takes a sharp turn, from flipping burgers to living that CMG dream. When her breakout hit FNF went viral back in 2022, her whole world changed overnight. She went from barely paying bills to having Yo Gotti himself sign her to his label, on a yacht. That's when everything shifted. Success, money, fame, and allegedly, the bond with her family started to crumble under the weight of it all. And that's some straight-up Cinderella story timing right there. But this fairy tale got a dark twist. While GloRilla was out here shining, fixing her teeth, getting cosmetic work done, buying Bentleys, and living like a full-blown superstar, her family was still trapped in the same old struggle they'd been fighting their whole lives. Victoria said their mama's still clocking in at FedEx, siblings still scraping by to pay rent, and their pops had to borrow $100 just to make it through the week. That's wild. When you really think about it, the contrast hits hard. GloRilla's showing off designer fits, sitting courtside at games, and flying private across the world, while her own people can't even afford gas to get to work. Victoria even claimed GloRilla bought their dad a Jaguar, but the man can't even afford to put gas in it. Like, what's the point of flexing a luxury car if it's just sitting there on E? That's not love, that's just for show, gang. But the biggest slap in the face? Victoria revealed that GloRilla straight up blocked their own mama. Imagine that. Blocking the woman who raised 10 kids, who kept the lights on however she could, who homeschooled them and held the family together when everything was falling apart. That move had everyone speechless. Victoria said she had to step in herself, giving their mom $1,800 out of a $2,400 rent bill because GloRilla wouldn't help at all. Meanwhile, GloRilla's out here dropping tens of thousands on her friends. Victoria called out one name in particular, Rambo, who allegedly got a brand new Escalade from GloRilla. That's a luxury SUV worth between $80,000 and $100,000. Now picture that. Watching your sister post videos on Instagram of her handing out cars like candy, smiling for the camera, while you can't even afford to fix your transmission. That kind of hurt runs deep, and Victoria didn't hold back. Then came the twist that had everybody's jaw on the floor. After her Facebook Live exploded online, Victoria landed on TMZ, and when they asked her straight up how much she felt GloRilla owed the family, she didn't even ask for millions. She said $2,500 each, just $2,500 per family member. That's pocket change for someone sitting on hit records and label deals. Hearing that number had the host completely stunned, because it showed this was never about greed, it was about respect. And now, the world's watching to see if GloRilla's gonna speak up or keep pretending nothing happened.
How much of that does she owe to you and the rest of the family of that $2 million?
She can get all but like $2,500 a piece.
How much?
$2,500.
That's it, just $2,500 each. The TMZ host was shocked and said something like, "If that's all you want, I think Glo might jump at that." But Victoria wasn't having it. She fired right back saying, "But imagine her being famous for 4 years and not giving us zero, none at all." That comeback hit like a punch. You could feel the pain and pride in her words. 4 whole years of fame, luxury, and spotlight, and not a single dime shared with the people who helped raise her? That's cold. The room went silent after that. Even the host didn't know what to say.
I think she would jump at that.
I think if that's all you want, I think Glo might jump at that.
But imagine her being on for 4 years and not giving us zero. None at all.
The TMZ interview exposed something wild. All this chaos, all this family drama could have been avoided over a tiny amount of money. We're talking about someone who easily drops more than $2,500 on a single designer fit, but couldn't give that same amount to each of her struggling siblings across 4 years of fame. That's crazy when you think about it. But this wasn't just about dollars. This was about respect. Victoria made it clear that the pain ran deeper than money. She wasn't begging for handouts. She wanted acknowledgement, appreciation, and to not feel invisible to her own blood. She said, "I'm constantly getting acknowledged for being her sister, and she ain't messing with us at all." That hit hard. Imagine walking into places where people recognize you only because of your famous sibling, smiling, taking photos, while the person you're tied to by blood won't even text you back. That kind of rejection burns deep, especially when the whole world thinks your family's picture perfect. When the TMZ host asked how their mom felt about Victoria airing the family's dirty laundry, her response was ice cold but real. She simply said, "At the end of the day gotta end." That line said it all. She's done holding back, done staying silent, and done pretending everything's okay when it clearly ain't.
What does your mom think about you going public with this whole thing?
At the end of the day gotta end. I don't give a
That right there sounded like someone who's way past caring about family politics. Victoria just wants the truth out, no matter who it hurts. What really shook people, though, was when she started tearing down the fake narrative GloRilla's been selling to the public. Victoria claimed GloRilla never retired their parents like she's been bragging in interviews. According to her, their dad retired on his own terms, and their mom, still clocking in at FedEx every single day. All that talk about taking care of family, Victoria said it was all for show, just for the cameras. But then the story took a wild left turn that flipped everything upside down. After Victoria's TMZ moment went viral and the internet started taking sides, some old criminal records surfaced, and they painted a totally different picture of this family drama. Allegedly, court documents showed that Victoria had been arrested before for pulling a gun on GloRilla during a heated family argument. That's right, A sister so angry and broken by years of pain that she allegedly almost turned a family fight into something deadly. That revelation sent shockwaves through the community. This wasn't just sibling tension anymore. This was real street-level family chaos. And honestly, it helped explain why everything feels so explosive right now. When you grow up the way they did, 10 kids trapped in poverty, homeschooled, isolated, and struggling for survival, it builds pressure that eventually has to blow. Add in parents who allegedly played favorites, who couldn't give each child the same love or support, and you get a powder keg of resentment waiting to pop off. So when GloRilla made it big and the spotlight hit, all those buried emotions came rushing back. Jealousy, pain, betrayal, all mixed up and ready to explode. The release of those court records changed how people saw everything. Suddenly, the story wasn't just a sister asking for help. Now folks were looking at it as a full-blown history of family trauma mixed with violence, distrust, and hurt feelings that never healed. But here's what's really got the streets buzzing. Despite everything that came out, people still can't decide who to believe. Is Victoria just a bitter sibling with a violent past? Or is she finally exposing a truth GloRilla's been hiding for years? The lines are blurred, the tension's boiling, and everyone's waiting to see who speaks next. Because this family feud just went from messy to explosive. If Victoria really pulled a gun on GloRilla before she was famous, back when they were both broke and struggling, what does that say about what she might do now that GloRilla's sitting on millions and still refusing to help? That old criminal record shows this family's been dealing with violence for years, and GloRilla's success only turned up the heat. The fame, the money, the spotlight, it didn't heal anything. It just made the wounds bleed wider. But the timing of those records dropping, real suspicious. Victoria goes viral, airing GloRilla out in front of the world, and suddenly her mugshots and criminal history start flooding social media. Come on now, that move screams damage control. A lot of people think GloRilla's team might be trying to flip the narrative, painting Victoria as the crazy, violent sister who can't be trusted just to make her look like the villain. And then things got even darker, because Victoria didn't stop there. She went online and said something that sent chills through everyone watching. She told people straight up that if something happens to her, they better look at her famous sister. Victoria said in one of her videos, "She probably gonna sacrifice me. If I end up dying, just know y'all need to go for her." Real talk. That's some heavy stuff right there. Those are accusations that go beyond family drama. That's a whole different level. Victoria's basically claiming that GloRilla's fame might come with some sinister strings attached, and that by speaking out, she's become a liability. And in an industry where people already whisper about industry sacrifices and protecting the brand, you can imagine how fast those conspiracy talks started flying. Now, to be clear, these are Victoria's claims. But the way she said it, you could tell she really believes her life's in danger. Her tone, her eyes, the fear in her voice, none of it sounded like clout chasing. It sounded like someone who's terrified of what could happen next. Then came the part that sent the internet spiraling. Victoria described what she says are real threats. According to her, GloRilla supposedly put word out in Memphis that her sister's a problem that needs to be handled. And anyone who knows Memphis knows, that kind of talk isn't a joke. In a city where street politics run deep and GloRilla's connected through CMG and Yo Gotti, that kind of word can turn deadly fast. The streets don't play around with that type of message. Once it's out, it's hard to take back. So when Victoria said she fears for her life, people listened. Whether you believe her or not, one thing's for sure. This family feud has officially crossed a line that can't be ignored. Victoria's words sent chills through the internet. She said, "Look this way. I told you. Don't go lie. If I end up dying, just know y'all need to go for her." That's not the voice of someone chasing clout. That's pure fear. You could hear it in her tone, see it in her eyes. She sounded like someone genuinely scared for her life, not just trying to make headlines. And that's exactly why so many people are taking these claims seriously. But here's the wild part. When you really think about it logically, it doesn't even make sense. If GloRilla truly wanted to quiet things down, why would she allegedly send threats or put a hit out when Victoria was only asking for $2,500? That's pocket change to a superstar. It's what makes this whole thing so twisted. The idea that someone would rather risk violence than drop a few stacks to keep peace in the family. And that's where the story dips into even darker territory. The whole sacrifice angle that's got conspiracy theorists spinning. People in the industry been whispering for years about how some artists supposedly sacrifice those close to them to stay on top. Victoria's basically saying GloRilla might be willing to go that far against her own blood, just to protect her money, her image, and her fame. And that's some next-level accusation, straight out of a hip-hop horror story. But for real, you can't ignore how confident Victoria sounded in her claims. She truly believes the threat is real, and when you add in Memphis street politics, that fear starts making sense. See, Memphis ain't just any city. It's built different. It's a place where street ties and industry power move hand in hand. GloRilla's signed to CMG Records, Yo Gotti's powerhouse label, and everyone knows Gotti isn't just another rapper. He's a businessman with deep roots in Memphis, real influence, real connections, and the pull to make big things happen. So when Victoria went public, she didn't just call out her sister, she might have gone up against an entire machine. Because when someone like GloRilla has investors, a label, and a reputation tied to her image, anything that makes her look weak, fake, or disloyal becomes a big problem. And in this industry, image is everything. Fans want to believe their idols are real, loyal, grounded, solid. If GloRilla's family is out here painting her as fake and selfish, that damages her street cred and her brand. And that can cost millions. So, yeah, when you mix fame, money, family tension, and Memphis street energy, you get a situation that's not just messy, it's dangerous. And now, with Victoria saying her life's on the line, people are wondering if there's way more to this story than anybody ever expected. When you sign to a major label, you stop being just an artist. You become an investment. The label pours cash into your image, your sound, your lifestyle, everything that makes money back for them. So if messy family drama starts threatening that investment, you better believe the people backing you are gonna find a way to shut it down, by any means necessary. And that's exactly why Victoria's claims about GloRilla allegedly wanting her gone suddenly start making a scary kind of sense. This might not just be about sister beef, this could be about protecting a multi-million-dollar brand. Think about it. If Victoria keeps popping up on TMZ, airing out GloRilla's business on social media, and making headlines for the wrong reasons, that's not just embarrassing, it's expensive. That kind of heat can cost CMG real money. Lost endorsements, canceled bookings, and fans turning their backs. Every post she makes could be hitting GloRilla's pockets harder than people realize. But here's the part that makes the whole situation feel so twisted. Victoria said all she ever wanted was $2,500. That's nothing to someone living the superstar life. That's one outfit, one dinner, one night out. Yet somehow, things allegedly escalated from a small request to full-blown death threats and conspiracy rumors. It shows just how deep the wounds run inside that family and how toxic it all became once money got involved. And at this point, it's not even just about the Woods family anymore. This drama is shining a harsh light on hip-hop culture as a whole. It's raising big questions about loyalty, authenticity, and how the industry can twist people's values once fame hits. Hip-hop has always been about keeping it real, never forgetting the struggle, never forgetting the people who helped you survive it. Fans love that energy because it feels honest. They connect with the grind, the pain, the rise from nothing. GloRilla built her entire image on being that down-to-earth Memphis girl who came from poverty and turned it into power. She spoke about her tough upbringing, her family life, and the fight to make it. But if Victoria's telling the truth, all that realness might have just been marketing. And that's what's got people so divided. Because if GloRilla's success story was built on pain she left behind instead of helping fix, that changes everything. It's not just bad PR. It's a betrayal of the culture that built her. The fact that we're even discussing whether a successful artist would allegedly plot against her own sister says a lot about how toxic the entertainment industry can get. We're talking about a world where protecting your reputation and your bag can start feeling more important than family, more important than morals, more important than life itself. But even deeper than that, this whole mess is a mirror of what poverty and trauma do to families. The Woods family didn't just wake up like this. Years of struggle, isolation, and pain shaped them into survivors who never learned how to heal. And now, even with fame and fortune in the picture, that same pain is tearing them apart in front of the entire world. The violence, the favoritism, the years of emotional damage, GloRilla's success didn't fix any of that. It just gave her the money and status to walk away, while everyone else stayed stuck in the same pain she escaped. For other artists watching this whole situation unfold, this is a serious warning. Family drama can blow up your entire career if you don't handle it right. Fame don't erase the past. It just puts a camera on it. Victoria going viral didn't just embarrass GloRilla, it shook her public image. Fans are questioning everything they thought they knew about her, from her real lyrics to her humble image. And once that trust is broken, it's hard to rebuild. That kind of backlash hits where it hurts most. The bag. Endorsements, brand deals, fan loyalty, all of it starts to slip when people think you're fake. But the deeper question here is haunting. How many other stars are living through the same kind of family war behind closed doors? How many artists are secretly picking fame over family, watching the people they grew up with turn into strangers just to protect their brand? It's a dark truth in the entertainment game. Success doesn't just build you up, it tests your soul. And if we look closer, this isn't just about jealousy or greed, it's about betrayal and abandonment. Victoria and GloRilla didn't just share blood, they shared trauma. They went through the same struggle, the same nights without lights, the same hunger, the same dream of breaking out of the hood together. When you survive that kind of pain with someone, especially family, it builds a bond that's supposed to last forever. But when one person blows up and the other's left behind, that bond can twist into resentment fast. GloRilla's rise from fast food shifts to million-dollar deals happened overnight, and that kind of success can mess with your whole mindset. You start believing your own hype, thinking you made it all on your own, that nobody helped you get there, that your family's just dead weight trying to pull you down. It's a trap a lot of stars fall into. Fame blinds you to the people who built you up when you had nothing. And what makes it worse? The kind of isolation Victoria described from their childhood, being fenced in, homeschooled, and cut off from the world, probably set them up for this kind of fallout. When you grow up without learning how to deal with real-life relationships or emotions, it messes with how you handle conflict as an adult. You don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to forgive. All you know is survival mode. So when GloRilla made it big and her family started asking for help, she didn't see it as a chance to uplift her people. She saw it as a threat to her new life. Instead of reconnecting, she pushed them away. Instead of healing the pain, she ran from it. And that's the tragedy here. Success didn't save the Woods family. It split them even further apart. GloRilla probably felt like admitting her family's struggles would drag her back to the past, a past she wanted to leave behind. She built this glamorous image, polished and powerful, and maybe she thought showing the truth would make her look weak or remind people where she really came from. But Victoria going public like that wasn't just pettiness, it was pain. It showed how deep those emotional scars run. Because this situation stopped being about money a long time ago. It's about feeling abandoned by the one person who should have understood the struggle because she lived it too. And those alleged death threats, that's where the heartbreak turns into full-blown tragedy. If what Victoria's saying is real, we're talking about the ultimate betrayal. A sister choosing to silence her own blood instead of helping her. Imagine being so lost in fame that you'd rather destroy your family than hand over $2,500. It's unthinkable, but that's exactly what makes this story so dark. At its core, this isn't just sibling rivalry. It's a deeper story about how trauma, poverty, and sudden fame can rip families apart. When you come from nothing and one of you makes it out, the pressure, the jealousy, the hurt, it all boils over. And when you throw the entertainment industry into that mix, where everything's about image and reputation, people can lose their sense of right and wrong fast. Fame can twist priorities until blood means nothing next to the brand. The fact that we're even having a conversation about whether a rapper would allegedly target her own sister shows just how far the culture's fallen. We're living in a time where clout and cash seem more valuable than loyalty, respect, or basic decency. Fame has become the new god, and people will sacrifice anything for it, even family. Now everyone's asking, what happens next for these two sisters? Victoria's out here living in constant fear, convinced her famous sister wants her gone. She's trending online, spilling family secrets to millions, but that kind of exposure comes with a price. If her claims are real, she might have just signed her own death warrant by speaking up. Every video she posts feels like a cry for help, and the world's watching in real time, unsure how this will end. Meanwhile, GloRilla's facing a whole different kind of fire. Her reputation's on the line, her authenticity's in question, and the streets are whispering. If any of these accusations hold even a shred of truth, the fallout could be brutal, career-ending even. Because once the public starts doubting whether you're real, it's almost impossible to come back from that. At this point, both sisters are trapped, one fighting for her safety, the other fighting for her name. And the saddest part? This all started with family pain that never got healed. Now that pain's playing out in front of the entire world and nobody's walking away clean. The Woods family drama is exploding across social media. But the bigger question is, what does this really say about our culture? About us? What does it say about the hip-hop world that a story this wild doesn't even shock people anymore? How did we get to a point where fame and fortune can twist someone's heart so bad that betrayal feels normal? This whole situation is exposing something deeper, how success can straight up corrupt people, and how the culture sometimes looks the other way when it does. The streets are watching, the fans are talking, and one thing's for sure, the truth about what's really happening in the Woods family will come to light. Whether it breaks through social media receipts, legal action, or something even darker, this story is far from over. The energy around it is too strong, and people are demanding answers. So now we gotta ask, what do you think? Do you believe Victoria's claims that GloRilla might be trying to take her out? Should family loyalty always come before protecting your image and your bag? Or is Victoria out of line for putting her private family business on blast for the world to see? Let's talk about it in the comments, because this situation says a lot about how fame changes people, about how trauma gets buried, and about how money can tear apart even the tightest blood bonds. If this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video so more people can join the conversation. We'll be keeping an eye on every twist and every new piece of tea that drops. And you already know, when the truth finally comes out, we'll be right here to break it all down for you. Stay safe out there, fam. And remember, success don't mean a thing if you lose your soul and your family in the process.